What's up, YouTube? People out there in the world. Long time no see. I'm still around by the grace of Krishna. My birthday was the other day, April 28th. And then 2 days after that, there was a worldwide African revolution. And y'all know that I can be sensitive at times. And these last couple of days, I've been crying a lot of tears of joy. I never thought, first of all, I have never seen a time since 1973 when I came into this body where Africa was united. I cannot recall a time in history, even in the great glorious days of Timbuktu, Mali, the great kingdoms in Benin, the great South African kingdoms, the great Nile River Valley civilizations of Nubia, Sudan, the Egypts. I've never seen a time when all Africans were united. And today, I've always been proud to be a descendant of Africa, but man, ever since this guy, Ibrahim Drury, I've never seen nothing like this, B. It's really hard to control my emotions to see one guy stand up. And you know what's interesting? At this point, people are convinced that there's a seal of protection over his life. And I just want to say, no matter what happens to a person's body, all bodies are perishable. But when Krishna wants a person alive, no one can kill them. And when Krishna wants somebody dead, no one can keep them alive. However, the thing about Ibrahim Traoré that's interesting is that even if his body would turn back to the elements, you cannot kill an idea. And the precedent he has set in Africa, just do your research and find out so many leaders in Africa now are taking control of their national resources. Because I always mentioned this in my videos previously, Africa is the youngest continent, like 70% of the population of the continent of Africa is below the age of 35. So Africa is the future. Over here in America, Trump is giving out money for people to have babies. Over here in America, Trump is taking away the education system. He's destroying education. We virtually, if you don't have a good job or benefits in America, you virtually don't have access to healthcare. This is the leaders of the world speaking, where there's a big bad America. The ones who tried to bully Africa recently in the form of tariffs. And where Trump miscalculated was that he thought that the Africans of today are the same beggars of yesterday. But as we can see, Africa's no longer in the mood to beg, because for 400 years, black people sat in America and wondered how Africa could be the wealthiest continent, and yet the kids don't even have a toilet bowl in their schoolroom. How can so much wealth be under the feet of the people, and the people can barely afford shoes to put on them feet? Now, this is not all Africans, and not all Africans are hungry and starving and poor. As a matter of fact, more Africans in any given country live better than the average American. But you're not going to see that in the Western media. However, this guy, Ibrahim Traoré, just, sorry for mispronouncing his last name, is Traoré, but he's done so much for his country in a short time. He showed us what real leadership looks like. Even to the point, if you research white people's opinion on Ibrahim Thrower, you'll see that most white people respect him. They might not love him the way black people love him, but man, they respect that. And they wish their leaders, like, there's many people now in Africa was like, yo, how can we kidnap Ibrahim Traoré and make him our president? What you have in Africa, right? A lot of the population is young, but the leadership is old and corrupt. And they are comfortable being a vassal to the European and Western powers. They are comfortable to go to Europe and be ignored in the assemblies but they're just there to beg something. This guy, Ibrahim Traoré, said, we're going to have free schools. I'm building hospitals. I'm building airports. I'm building airlines. And now all over Africa, leaders are now starting to back their currencies by their natural resources, their minerals, their gold and stuff like that. It's funny that I think the British pound is backed by gold. I'm not sure. But how can the British have their currency backed by gold and there's not one gold mine in Britain? So that means all of the wealth in Africa is distributed in the form of power in Europe. And ever since April 30th, that was the revolution. It is a messianic revolution. I ain't talking about Jesus. Jesus is a person of belief. You could believe in Jesus or not. But the word Messiah, Meshiach, it basically means to wipe clean. And that's exactly what Ibrahim Thrower did. He wiped clean. Man, Africa's so clean right now, you can't even find a white wig in Burkina Faso. Those who get it, get it. You can't find a white wig in Burkina Faso. So, I ain't saying he's Jesus. I don't believe in a return of Jesus. I believe in a coming of a Messiah. And it seems like this guy Ibrahim is doing everything that the Messiah was supposed to do back in Israel, in Jerusalem, wherever he's from, Bethlehem, Beit Lachem, the house of meat, the house of flesh. Whatever Jesus was supposed to be doing in the land of Nazareth, this guy is doing in Burkina Faso. So I want everybody to research the essence of the word Messiah and how it relates to wiping clean. He wiped the slate clean. There's no longer any European influence in Burkina Faso. But again, you can kill a man, but you cannot kill an idea. And all throughout Africa now, the people want to know, why do we have big holes in the ground? Why is all these raw materials leaving our country and my baby don't even have no food? Why is it that I'm digging up gold in my backyard, selling it to artisanal miners, and yet there's not even a road that I could walk on and not get mud on my Temu sneakers? And again, all leaders of the world who are intelligent will be coming to Africa to do business with them, not on the European or the Asian terms or the North American or South American terms, but on terms dictated by the indigenous natural people of that given country of Africa. So if you're looking for a messianic revolution, a Messiah type figure, someone who would stand up to the force of the beast, remove the beast from his country and the influence of the beast, then that man is Ibrahim Traoré. Look him up. It is a beautiful day for Africa, and death to all traitors. And I don't want to call no names because, certain military leaders would feel threatened, especially military leaders who look like us would feel threatened if I say death to them. And I ain't trying to get deported to no jail in El Salvador, because America is no longer a country of rules and regulations, and it does not abide by its own constitution, nor does it abide by natural international standards. So meanwhile, Americans can condemn, certain American military leaders can condemn Ibrahim Traoré and say he's lawless or there was a coup. But meanwhile, the president of America does not follow the Constitution. He does not respect the courts. As you know, in America, we have a three-pronged system of leadership. Trump shows no respect to the other branches, like the legislative branch and the judicial branch, and he's concentrating all of the power in his branch. So if it's okay for Trump to do it, then you cannot say it's not okay for somebody in Africa to do it. Again, Burkina Faso, like America, is a sovereign country, and their leader has the right to make decisions. And just because a person is of a black skin or blackish skin does not mean they do not have the right to self-determination. So I'm happy to announce that the colonial era, the imperialistic era of Europe running amok in Africa has come to an end. Now let's open up some fair trade and let's build up these countries in Africa to a higher standard of living than could ever be achieved in America. And with that, I know it turned into a long video. I hope somebody got something from this, but the energy of the Messiah is amongst us. Whether or not Ibrahim is a Messiah or not, I don't know, but the messianic energy is now amongst us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.